Hello and welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I will be your host for today's Week 9, I think actually, although the title says 8. I believe it's 9. The Week 9 matchup of Season 8. And it is a Button Cup matchup. I think it's the final Button Cup matchup. I'm not sure what the overall standings are. I'm sure chat can clue me into it, but this will be the final NA versus EU battle and the highest ranking NA versus EU battle, so should be an interesting one to spectate. Globochem versus Beginners. There have been some fluctuations in worldwide standings over the last few series. Beginners now back in the number 1 spot. Globochem trailing them very closely by a 10 MMR separation. SMC Tactical also 10 MMR back from Beginners, so Globochem definitely in a tight spot, in a position to take first place back worldwide, but also in a position to drop down to 3rd. Beginners, in the meantime, if they lose this series, they may drop down to potentially even 4th worldwide, as they are really in a tight battle here between the top 3. So there's definitely a lot on the line for both squads. In my opinion, must wins if they want to stay at the top, although, you know, these guys are very capable of then winning their next series, but, you know, who are they going up against? That'll be for next week to decide. We gotta find out how this Button Cup matchup shakes out first. Diving into the pick bans, because it is going to be starting up pretty soon. We do have the ban of Downfall coming in from Globochem, and Tanker coming in from Beginners. Obviously, after watching that Tanker performance, they felt a little bit threatened about having Globochem with the opportunity to pick that, and we are going to be going into Cargo for map number 1. And I'm real curious how this series is going to shake out. Globochem, almost with the full roster, only using 1 sub as opposed to 2 like they did last series against G-Men. And I mean, it's a reminder there, they almost won against G-Men, down 2 on the roster. Now they have Toast, arguably one of their strongest shooters. Alongside Thunder and Otto, Raph's there as well, and Gattaca being that 5th to sub in. This Globochem squad's looking a lot more dangerous, in my opinion, than they were just a few days ago against G-Men. So if Beginners are going to be coming in with the same sort of mentality that Globo's not going to be on their sharpest edge, they're definitely going to be surprised, in my opinion. So we'll see how they are going to square up in defending against that. They will be kicking it off on the defense, Globochem on the offense. This is Globo's map pick, as they are the home team, so it'll be interesting. Should be a to be honest, I have no idea what the pacing we're going to see like in this series. Globochem definitely a bit of a I would say a mid-pace team. Usually attacks around 2.5 mark. We did see some fast pushes on Cargo out of them, also some slow play. But they are very able to navigate around this Cargo area effectively, even when it comes down to 1v3s. You know, they were looking good. So this should be a fun series to spectate. At the very least, this should be a fun one to spectate. We can look at the active rosters right now. Like I said, on Globo, Otto, Raph, Gattaca, Toast, and Thunder Pilot. And over on Beginners, we have Kev, Killinger, Icy Woods, Woods 43, and Smoils. So not really any surprises on the side of Beginners. That squad staying consistent with their roster, looking to reinforce their first place. They got it. They lost it for just a brief moment in time this week. Beginners were knocked out of first for just a short time. Globo then losing to G-Men brought them back down to 2nd. So Beginners sort of teetering around with this first place right now, and this would be a great opportunity to really lock in worldwide #1 after week 9. We don't have to wait any longer as we hop in to round number 1 of map 1 on Cargo. Beginners versus Globochem. The final Button Cup matchup. We'll see just how the series shakes out as the fire already is underway and an aggressive push from Beginners to establish some forward defensive positioning with Woods 43 and Kev. You can see Raph dropping back, nervous about nades. Thunder also. And you gotta be scared of potential nades hitting you in the head here as you linger around in these cargos in the center. Smokes out, not going to be terribly effective. I wonder if those were defensive smokes, actually, now that I think about it. They must have been, because I can't imagine why you would throw an offensive one there. Raph IDing some enemies, and the rest of Globochem really just sort of slow playing this one. I'm curious what they felt Beginner's strategy was. Initially they were up into these early cargo spots. They must have heard Woods and Kev get into these advanced defensive positions and just called a universal backing. Woods 43 and Kev super fortunate that nade doesn't kill either one of them. I don't know how neither one of them got down. Counter nades coming in towards Raph. Raph seeing the rotation from Woods 43 here. This is going to give away a little bit of the mystery of this forward defense. Another nade comes in, just misses. Woods 43. Kev charges around the corner in sync with Woods 43, but not in sync enough. A trade goes down, so we're into a 4v4, and Woods is a bit more forward now. Good smoke, blocking vision, trying to block vision into this doorway. Gattaca looks like he is going to maybe toss a nade inside. Does. Woods 43 rotates around to Toast, who catches him out on the rotation. Toast slowly and cautiously crept into that corner there. Maybe able to find another if Beginners get a little bit over eager on this peak. Catching out Killinger. Good refrag from him, answering back for that kill onto Raph. Nades coming out still. Otto with the flash up and over. He's going to be making his way into these cargo crates, and he's going to have to face off against Icy Woods. D4 detonated. Woods gets caught out in the single barrier there. Smoils just on the other side of Otto is heard. Crashes around the other side. Otto now hears him. The trade there. Smoils quickly exposed to Gattaca and Toast, and Globochem taking their Marsoc round 1 against Beginners. If you are just tuning in, we got 2 games going on. I recommend firing up the old multi-stream. Pacifist versus Sinister Pride, I believe, on Master League 2, hosted by Noman and Xandria, making a return to the desk. So make sure you go over there, give them your blessing, and then, of course, swing back to this channel. Really just waver. Go back and forth. Watch both of the action. If you're thinking about muting a channel, though, put it to 1% instead. I swear it works, people. I'm told by chat I have to pick one. I suppose that is a fair guess to be making. I honestly think going into this without the roster information, without knowing that Toast was going to be in the Globochem mix, I think I would have said Beginners. But I lean a bit towards Globo. I don't know. I think most people would say Beginners. They look so good with being down only to the 3 of them against G-Men, though. I just feel like now at 4, they're really going to be in some good shape. Because I feel like Thunder and Otto are playing on a next level as Kev catches out Gattaca. They want Smoils here on the corner. You see a lot of lasers trained into this little edge here. Smoils is in a nice spot, but not ready to catch out. Does get one on a quick peek around the corner, but is quickly refragged in a follow-up nade to confirm that he's dead. As Icy Woods receives a bit of utility fire. Maybe Here's the footsteps from Otto and gets a little nervous. A nice nade goes up and out towards the center. Raph able to tuck inside. He's safe. And Globochem now down to 3 in this 3v4 beginners. Also in relatively forward positions for 5 minutes left on the clock. Playing this faster than Global were on Marsoc.
Okay, just keep it. We have 5 minutes left, okay?
Kev trained on an interesting angle, making sure there's no forward aggression there. I'm sure Woods must have called something out. Must have heard some sort of footsteps in front of him. Now they're sort of icing the remaining 3 of Global, really putting them on edge. They have a ton of time to work with. 4 minutes left on the clock. Otto in a relatively forward position. Actually botches a nade toss there. Does get it around the corner, but not probably as far as he was hoping. Not able to really follow up peak there. I'm wondering what the appropriate approach from beginners is. Feel like there's a decent eyeball here on this front push towards objective. Woods and Killinger staying on the backside. I think they'll be the ones that make the advance along the west. That's a great toss right into a real common defensive position. Good smokes too, allowing them to push into this building relatively unidentified. Although there isn't really anybody watching here. Thunder now, after hearing the nades and flash, does have his attention drawn to the center area. Probably hears those footsteps from Killinger as well. And Icy Woods able to peek. And I was just going to say they need to sync up, and they do nicely. Woods catching out a key frag, opening up this whole center area to Killinger. And now it's going to come down to Raph and Otto. I wonder if they have the utility for a cap to be on their mind. Although I did see a lot of smokes come out to get them into this forward position. Woods catching out Raph on a rotation.
Another one down.
Puts beginners into a very good spot. 4v1 against Otto. Checks his pad, realizes he's the sole survivor, and he's got to completely defend this one on his own. I think this is the right choice. Get a little bit aggressive. Look for the pick here, then try and drop back and continue to defend. He's got to catch him out one by one. This is an interesting rotation. We'll take a look at the rest of the offense because it's very risky for him to be getting up over here. Might be able to catch one. I don't think Kev is going to be ready. He's abandoning objective just a bit. I think it could be the right choice. He might be able to grab a couple kills here. Oh, Woods spots him out. Now he's got to get aggressive. Can't find Kev. Does find Woods. Can't find Kev. Kev catches him out on the refrag, and beginners tying things up very nicely with their Marsoc round 1-1. If you are just dropping by, you know what's up. We're only in the first map. You've come here just in time. You're also most likely a savvy follower of the Twitter channels, or at the very least of this Twitch channel. In which case, you got the notifications that we were going live, and you tuned in right away. For that, we appreciate you. Seriously, the social media blasting does help the most. I, in fact, have not sent out a Twitter blast that we're live like a bad streamer. Button Cup final, exclamation points. Beginners versus Globochem, exclamation points. Come watch. Score is 1-1. See, that's all you gotta do too. Type those keys in, people. Get them going. Or just go retweet that tweet. Everybody's gonna know about that action as we dive into round number 3. Map number 1 on cargo here. Beginners on the defense. Icy Woods with some early pre-fire to ensure there's no lane crossing there, and Beginners definitely being aggressive on their defensive rotations. I'm not used to seeing them push up so hard into this early position. It's almost like they're staggered too. You can see Smoil is definitely the most forward pushed one. Kev also was up there. Now they've dropped back, so they have a few tucked in just to hold on to that defensive line just in case, and then another one relatively far forward. This is a spot he was just in last round though, so if Globochem are able to adapt, they should be aware of this position. A nice nade does come in, catches out Raph, but a quick res is going to keep the shield user alive, which is key. I'm wondering if Otto is going to try this cross again. He did last time. Almost got punished for it. Nade does come up and over, not quite far enough, I'm sure, as Smoils had intended, and now Smoils is in a real awkward spot. Gattaca has his eyes trained here. He's about to get sandwiched onto the side, then down he goes. Good teamwork from Otto and Gattaca to grab their first pickup, and now Globochem into the 5v4 advantage early.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, someone had eyes on me then.
Thunder Pilot and Raph going to use the shield rifle combo to make their way down the tunnel. They're going to have to face off against Woods 43. Got his eyes trained in on that doorway. Also C4 in hand. It looks like he's actually going to go for the manual C4 toss. Shield is identified. In goes the C4. Not good enough, though. Doesn't go into the doorway, and those two are still going to be alive, as Gattaca also making his advanced moves into the center cargo crate area. Might be able to catch Woods 43 onto rotation if Woods is not prepared, but he is dialed into this doorway here. Nate does come in and flash. Gattaca catches out Icy Woods on a rotation. A nice pick from him. Should allow a little bit more leeway on this exit. Toast now also crashing into the center. One of the faster players for Globo is the most forward advanced. They should know his position as well. Communication should be there. And now Killinger's spot is identified by the laser of Otto. He saw those footsteps underneath. These lasers obviously not in-game, just something that us spectators have as a tool to help you guys really see the lines of sight coming in from the players, and I think it helps just identify exactly what angles these guys are holding. Raph there, catching some rounds to the shield. I know right where he is. Gattaca's radioing that in, and a good rotation just in time as nades do start to come into that corner. And Beginners are well aware that once you shoot, your best option to survival is to move back into cover. You can thank SMC for that fun bit of wisdom. Woods catching out Gattaca, pushing a little bit aggressively. Toast trying to grab one himself. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. There's the trade between Woods and Toast. Not a trade as Woods does stay alive. Grabs Toast and a couple of picks for Woods 43 as he holds on to this defensive positioning. Beginner is going to need to rally back here. Raph was going to go in for that res. Thunder crashing in under the smokes. Nicely done. Somehow gets past Woods. Now he's inside. Will Killinger rotate properly? I don't know if he will. Thunder, I don't think, can cap from inside. He has to push out towards Killinger. I wonder if Killinger is aware of this. The rotation on the backside from Kev is going to come in. And Thunder's in just a fantastic spot. Catches out Killinger, and now it's all up to Kev into the 1v3. And he is going to charge aggressively. Gets one. Down goes Thunder. Can he get the double? Heals quickly. And he is rotating into an odd position. Otto here in a spot where he could be capping as Kev dances around the potential attackers. Otto and Raph secure themselves their Marsoc round again. We continue the Marsoc trading and go up 2-1. Now right here is where I normally pass to my co-caster because my voice is tired after just doing all that hot action, but I don't have one, so instead we just get a bit of music. Wish I could play the saxophone. Curious why Globo didn't target a potential cap there. The pressure's got to be on right now for both of these teams. Globo actually, I mean, competing pretty well right now against beginners, down one in their roster. Although Gattaca has played with them already. He's got some experience playing up against G-Men with them. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Gattaca maybe make a return to the league if Globo offer him a spot on the roster, although there isn't an open roster spot, so there'd have to be some roster shakeups from Globochem, but I think that could definitely do them some good. They are looking good right now against the #1 team worldwide. Beginners are not a slouch squad, so for Globochem to be able to compete like this against them like they are right now, it's a really good performance. We'll see if they can keep it up, or if beginners can manage to continue to come back and grab Marsoc rounds of their own. We hop into round number 4 of map 1. Oh, and the crazy pre-fire bonanza between both squads, and that's Globochem in the lead, 5v4. Kev has pushed up, but he'll be sitting there for a while because the rest of beginners still back at spawn, interested in trying to get this cross going.
I think it was the fire from under the pipes.
I don't know if that's the best investment of resources at this point. Smoyle's trying to use the back wall there, blend in just a bit. Just to give himself a little bit of an edge if he does decide to get in a bit of a trade here on this cross.
You have a smoke, why are you not answering?
Kev sort of hanging out in this 4 position. Take a look at Globochem's defensive setup real quick. I don't think I've seen such a prone-heavy defense. Everybody is holding angles underneath the doors of these crates. Thunder's peeking underneath, Rasp peeking underneath, Gattaca peeking underneath. They are taking the tightest angles they can. They'll be grabbing out any feet that come into view. And a real interesting setup here.
Okay, yeah, I do, okay. That's a nice spot, man.
Even Raph surprised with that spot there. Yeah, I mean, it's a good setup the way they have it here. I like it. Gattaca with a really nice angle to watch that doorway entry. Thunder holding the left side. They have some great little lines of sight here. Actually, you know what? Gattaca can't see the doorway. You can just sort of see this gap here, which is a very popular crossing point right through here. And you can just see, look at the crisscross of lasers that Globochem are setting up, making a very grid-esque pattern for the beginners to cross through. They're going to have to channel their inner Catherine Zeta-Jones and dip beneath these lasers. That was 2 references in 1. Pretty good stuff.
No, we all pushing on
Little pre-fire from Woods. The indicator for Killinger and Smoils to start making their way up towards Kev, who sort of just held that position inside since he got there at the start of the round. Seems beginners' early strat is very dependent on having all 5 alive. Once they've lost one, you can kind of see they hold up, reevaluate, reassess their strategy, try and identify where they lost that individual, and then hatch a bit of a new plan. That plan is starting to go underway. Not an ideal smoke landing on the roof there, but one here in the center does deny. Really not a ton of vision. The smoke's not exactly blocking what they want to be blocking. As the push does come in, Killinger and Kev are here. Kev goes down, Killinger also into a trade, and we're into a bunch of trading right now. Gattaca stands back up. He's concerned after hearing Thunder go down. He may actually rotate around for the res as well as the frag comes in from Raph, and we're into a 3v2 with one potential res on both sides. So info should be coming in from Kev right now. Thunder gets scooped up into a 4v2. Oh, and a really patient C4. Actually, that wasn't patient. Thunder had gotten rezzed and finally was able to detonate the C4. Raph confirming that kill. And Gattaca holding this angle is going to make it real hard for Smoils to exit. He's got 1:30 left, and Smoils readjusts. I wonder if Smoils can sneak in. There's a bit of a gap here. Gosh, that would be so devastating if Smoils could just sneak by, but he can't. Toast rotates around, looks for the angle, and Globochem push their lead to beginners to 3-1. Oh, how many times could I say 2 in that sentence, huh? I have returned with liquids so I can keep my voice smooth and silky for the remainder of this, what is now shaping up to be quite an interesting series. The #1 worldwide versus #2 worldwide, NA versus EU battle, beginners versus Globochem. Heck back into the action. Round 5, map 1 on Cargo. Reminder, if you did miss it out, the bans were a downfall from Globochem and Tanker from beginners, so we still do have a bunch of close quarters maps on the table. Bazaar, Quarantine still there for map number 2. And if I was a betting man, I'd say beginners are probably going to opt into Quarantine for their second map choice, as Globochem did pick Cargo here. And now we're seeing a change in defensive style. Beginners normally heavily investing and sending 2 or 3 up into that forward position, now all sitting on the back foot. They know this is a must-win round, so they're keeping it tight, and they're going to force the push from Globochem. Definitely a smart play from beginners, and an example of why they are the #1 team worldwide, because they do not give up. They do not throw away rounds, and they don't really make terribly risky decisions. They make calculated ones, and this is definitely one of them. They're going to wait this one out. They're going to force the push from Globo.
There's one far back. Yeah.
Raph doing his job as the shield user, gathering all sorts of information.
Yep. Yeah, that would be my guess. I might be seeing someone behind close to the sandbags, by the doorway under the ground. I'm not sure, is that a person or a box? Just be careful.
Ghost. Swinging his hands by the straps as he waits for his team to get into position. I think he knows very well the style of beginners that he's facing off right now. He's aware that patience is going to be the key. Great smoke toss. That's good. Not as good as it could be. What you wanted that a little bit shorter, because now that smoke is going to cost. He needs another one if they want to fully smoke that out, and I don't even know if he really needed to. I think that was actually just a smoke to distract. Try and draw out a rotation. You do see the laser of, I think that's Smoils dialed in there. Actually, RC Wood. Toast nicely identifying C4 up top, catches it out. Raph goes down with the shield, and Woods confirming that is a really nice pickup for this defense. And now he's also managed to grab Thunder. Woods has taken some damage, and a follow-up nade's going to pick him up and take him down. Unresable now because he took that early shot and the grenade damage. Quick kill for them, and Globo into the 4v3. Another nade comes up and over towards Icy Woods, just a touch too far. Really good rotation from him. If he didn't move, he definitely would have been grabbed by that nade. See Toast trained in here, just misses the shots over the shoulder of Woods. Woods is going to drop back, tuck himself back inside. We're going to go into this 3v4.
Repeat. Nade's out on the right side. No, let's do left.
Gattaca has had such good nades today. That's another excellently dropped spot. Right into that corner. Here comes a smoke. And that's going to be nearly perfect. Does deny vision. Not actually as well as he was maybe hoping. The bloom not quite angling properly. Smoil's still going to be able to see over that smoke. So not a great smoke there either. Toast gets flashed by Killinger. Stays tucked in behind the box. Does know now that Killinger's there. He's going to try and smoke him out, but that smoke doesn't get the angle they want either. Gattaca, huge pickup onto Icy Woods. Smoils now is going to be looking for that refrag. Toast and Auto making their moves. Goes down to the front defense of Kev. Toast is going to be advancing in. Catches out the head of Killinger. This should force the rotation from Smoils, who goes down to Gattaca in a great bout of teamwork. Globochem grab another, and Toast rounds the corner on Kev. Gattaca and Toast combo grab themselves map number 1 in a dominating fashion against beginners 4-1. Take a look at the overall KDs. 5-2 from Toast, 5-2 from Gattaca. The reservist there definitely putting in some work on Cargo. And I wonder if that's in part why they picked it, because they know they just feel overall more comfortable as a 5-man squad there. Either way, a good map choice, and it does put them into a very good spot as we hop into map number 2, which, as I predicted, is going to be Quarantine. Beginner's map choice, so not really a terrible surprise that we are going to be moving into Quarantine. Definitely a map that they favor and are quite skilled at. They have good strategies to converge. The map itself plays well into their style of play, where they can kind of take their time to rotate and completely encircle an objective before crashing in onto it. I mean, if you want to pick a map, this is the one for beginners. It makes, now that I think about it, a ton of sense why they prefer this map, just because of all of the flanking possibilities here, and how that plays into really allow. It pretty much takes about 4 to 5 minutes for a real long rotation on this map to go through. So yeah, I haven't really thought much about why they continuously pick into this map, but that's definitely got to be one of the reasons. Also wanted to touch on while we're here and analyzing the Globochem roster that we've been seeing as of late. Great to see Toast here. Wrath also been a consistent between the 3, Thunder, Auto, and Wrath. But I feel like that just those 3, Thunder, Auto, and Wrath, can really carry a squad. And I know it's something that's a bit, I would say, controversial amongst the competitive community. A lot of people argue that the game really requires 5 to be completely in sync if you want to be a top team in this league. But I think what we're sort of seeing with this Globochem, roster shakeup is that you can carry a team if you have 2 to 3 very skilled players on your team. I would say that Thunder, Auto, and Wrath work so well together that regardless who else is on their squad, that is going to be a very formidable team. And now that Gattaca's played with them once, you can see here, just the second time around, he's much more comfortable with the squad, understands how they move. I just feel like the Globochem roster that has played for so long, they can take anybody in and have them meld well with their team. And so I think that's what we've been seeing lately with the Globochem squad. They've been playing so well with who they have available, and I'm curious to see if they can take map number 2 on beginners, because I was pretty dang surprised that they went 4-1 on Cargo. And now going into beginners pick onto Quarantine, we'll see just what they can do. Toast taking control of Burning Rubble, a key defensive position. Meanwhile, beginners have got 4 in the north and 1 in the south. Try an ID who that is down there. It looks like it's his Smoils. And this is really a strat we've seen beginners super comfortable with. This is the flanking maneuver I was talking about. Normally it takes much longer for beginners to get this into play, but I think because they had that crater spawn, Smoils instantly went for this cross. I think he went undetected. I don't really see too many eyes drawn into the south, so he should be able to have this berm control to himself. Although he probably won't ID anybody. I don't think anybody here is going to offer him an angle. Meanwhile, the rest of the team in the north have taken rooftop control. Curious what their next plan of action is. Probably get into position towards the burning rubble. Get prepared to smoke, flash, and frag their way forward as Smoils will converge from the south. So I do expect maybe a pinch at 2 minutes, but I feel like that might be ahead of the beginner's timeline. Might even be closer towards 1, since they may send one around the west as well. Shots from IC Woods does give away a bit of positioning, and I think that's actually intentional. They may want to draw the eyes over here towards this north side while Smoils does slowly inch his way. Actually, he's not really inching his way. He's sort of just sitting on the hill there in the south. Look at the defensive spots here. Toast and Raff in the burning. You saw that. Otto here inside courtyard. A bit of a risky spot, but he's got the wall coverage to keep him safe from the north. And then you have 2 remaining on the backside. Thunder and Gattaca able to crash in towards objective if things go awry, and definitely the last resort for the objective defense. 2:50 on the clock. It looks like it's time for beginners to make their move. They've got some good smokes denying vision from Toast here on the wing, and a great nade just misses Killinger. He tries to come up and over, but Toast is ready for that. Kev is able to make the rotation along the backside, though. Could be able to catch Toast on the side. Does grab Toast. Woods 43 following that up. IC Woods also on the back end, and they're going to be reinforcing this push into the rubble. Definitely going to be burning rubble into the side of beginners, but now what can they do with this? 2:20 on the clock. They got a lot of time to work with. Shots from Otto, peeking up over that wall there. Now proning his way past that gap, just going to readjust. I think he may look for the angle on towards Woods. Nade comes up and over, a good flash. Raff finds one. Kev trying to advance his way into the rubble. An interesting flash from Otto, maybe just to sort of shut down Woods 43 and IC Woods from advancing forward, and I think it did just that. Beginners now on the back foot. Smoils making his way along the south still. And Woods 43 looking to maybe grab Raff, but Raff's inside, so this angle not going to pay off. Interesting. I thought that was a nade that went in there on the Raff for a second there, but it was a smoke, and IC Woods getting distracted, goes down to shots from Otto. Not sure where those shots from Otto came from. Maybe he peeked through the gap. Raff catching out. Sorry, confirming IC Woods in the center. And now it's going to come down to the flank, really, from Smoils, who does take some shots over towards Otto. Ducks behind the wall, and now Smoils' position is identified, is known. Woods 43 catches out Raff, and Otto's in a bit of a bind here, sandwiched between 2 attackers. Almost gets tagged there, and now should be aware of the position of Woods. Drops back here, is exposed now to Smoils, who's making his way in. Thunder just got a hold in here. 18 seconds left. Down goes Smoils. IC Woods has to crash in, and with 10 seconds left, he's got a lot to do. Has to grab out Otto, which he does. Now can he get Gattaca? He does. Thunder is next on the list with 4 seconds left. All he has to do is tuck in, and it looks like that is what happens. Woods 43 maybe confused on where the objective was. And ultimately, Globo take their defensive round 1-0. Globochem looking very good today. Reinforcements from Toast definitely paying off. They're looking strong and diligent. The KD coming in here after round 1, definitely in favor of Raph, managing to grab 2 in that burning rubble there. Definitely some key pickups allowing beginners to hold on to the burning rubble a lot longer than maybe they should have, and some early shots from Globochem going to give away their spawn onto the southeast. We'll see how beginners react. They should know this information. You can kind of see every eye from beginners now trained over here onto the south. That west defense is going to start to rotate. You can see it coming back towards the objective. And this is what you have to do. As soon as you identify spawns, as soon as you have information, you have to act off of it. And Smoils and Kev now just going to be patiently waiting for a cross to come through. They see the smokes. A lot of suppressive fire going to come in. Smoil's lucky he didn't get tagged by Kev in that pre-fire. And I think amidst those smokes, they do manage to get 2 across, even through that fire. The strat we've been seeing from Raph here, using that night vision in the daytime, I think it must help identify dark. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like it just kind of highlights the darkness inside those buildings. Makes it hard to see basically everything else but what you're looking at there in the darkness.
1, 2, 3, 4 life. Okay, I'm heading back to behind Marshall Tower so I can cross.
Nice little song from Raph there. Keep his demeanor calm and focused. Otto and Thunder going across. We'd see very similar to what Smoils likes to do with beginners on the flank. We'll see if proning like this is going to be as effective. I feel like running at a distance is probably their better choice, but I don't know if there's really anybody holding this long angle here.
I didn't know anyone else was coming, but I'm glad.
We need to.
I just saw the opening, so I took it.
It looks like Thunder and Otto are going to make it. Raph's going to come up here and join them as well.
I know what you mean. I don't think so, though. I don't think they can see
This
it.
is definitely a big rotation, as long as they go unnoticed. To really pay off. It looks like they're going to get across at least Otto and Thunder. We'll see if Raph can also mimic the sort of success.
Yeah, I'll let you know before we start attacking middle burning.
Raph's actually going to stay center. Meanwhile, let's take a gander at this south push that's been going on. Gattaca up by ambulance. Toast able to get into a spot where he may find an angle onto Woods. If he's fortunate enough. That's definitely what he's looking for by peeking through these windows. Although I actually don't think he'll have the angle onto Woods 43. He is looking more for Killinger there. Keep a camera here, tune back into this side of the action in just a bit. Because in the meantime, Otto and Thunder have made their way up to rooftop, and this should be quite an effective spot to push from. Because I just think the defense is super weak over here on the north. They have that one defender back there. Who is that? Smoils holding that line? Yeah, and he's going to be key. If Smoils doesn't catch this rotation out, it's going to be very bad news. And okay, I was going to say, does he not hear the smokes? He does, so now his eyes are drawn over here. It is a pretty decent smoke, but not full coverage, so he does have at least a few exposed shots there he can take. Doesn't catch out Otto, slowly inching his way there on the other side of the wall. Meanwhile, Toast and Gattaca on to the south. Otto catching out Icy Woods with a nade. A huge pickup, but they're going to have to deal... Yep, with Smoils. Catches out one. Thunder does manage to get past the shots from Smoils, so now he's into the center rubble Raf here in the center also able to reinforce if Icy Woods and Killinger decide to peek up. C4 detonated, and now we're going to tune into the push coming in from Gattaca over onto this side of Woods 43. His back is exposed. I wonder if Kev's going to be holding the angle here. He's not, so this is going to be an interesting little bout here. Keep our eyes on all the action as it goes down. Gattaca peeks up, does expose himself, catches out Woods. Will Kev respond in time? He does peek out. Down goes Kev in a trade, though. That's going to open up objective. Now we're into the exchange in the center. Raf and Thunder into a 2v3. The res is going to be coming in. Icy Woods catches out Raf, so you can see now Thunder is going to have to press this advantage. He's going to have to charge in onto Icy Woods, grabs him in a trade, and Globo losing the round to Beginners. I don't know why I said it that way. Beginners win the round and tie it up 1-1. A good hold there from Woods 43, putting his KD up to 4-1 overall. Thank you guys for dropping in and hanging out for the action today. Remember to have that multi-stream up and running on the Master League 2. We have Pacifist versus Sinister Pride. That's hosted by Noman and Xandria, making his return to the co-caster desk. So be sure to drop in and tune in for that action while we wait between rounds, and then come back here. And make sure you're watching the Beginners Globochem Button Cup finale. More importantly, really, rank 1 versus rank 2 worldwide, squaring it up, duking it out. We're going to get a bit of a quick spawn for this round number 3 on the north objective, and they're going to get that crater spawn. We'll see if Globo are caught off guard or how Beginners decide to utilize this. And I think it's going to be a pretty standard quarantine push from Beginners. I anticipate they'll send one around the flank, 2 or 3 up the middle, another one along this far north side.
Yeah, one on the side.
Seems to be the common strategy from Beginners, spreading out and converging on this objective. Do think they saw that cross, though, from Smoils, so this is a lot of information, and you can see now everybody trained into this north side. All eyes over here on the north. That could work out in Beginner's favor if we go about 4 minutes into the future and Smoils is on the west side of the objective flanking. But it's going to take him a bit of time. Actually not even really flanking. He's looking for a long pick with an interesting angle up onto that roof.
Yes, I'm crossing now. I crossed.
Kind of an insight into their comms. Obviously, their timing is important. You can hear, I think it's Woods or Icy Woods, making sure that Smoils is across in time, that he's already across the street with whatever minute was on the clock. I mean, it's very synchronized and very coordinated movements from Beginners here to get themselves into position to attack the objective in a timely manner. They don't want to have the clock ticking down on them like it did last time. Ooh, I think Killinger did ID one up by that plane wing there. Kev taking shots as well. Definitely just reinforcing the information that Globochem already had, that it is a crater spawn and that they do have some attackers up on the north. Toast and Thunder on OBJ. Raf also on the back side. They have one up on Planewing and Auto there. Not quite on the rooftop. Smart positioning from Auto because oftentimes from this north push you see grenades come up onto the roof, so he's probably going to wait those out and then shift into a more defensive position, although that sand dune is quite a good spot. Oh, and Gattaca. Wow, a really nice defensive setup from him. This was a very smart rotation. They saw the crossing. They knew there was one south. They didn't move off it immediately. Maybe knowing and understanding beginner's timing. But either way, Gattaca nicely holding the south, catches out a rotation from Woods that would have been devastating if it went unnoticed. Looks like we're going to have split action yet again. We'll make sure we have the angle there on Gattaca while he defends. And meanwhile, Killinger and Kev going to have to make their moves here. Ooh, I see Woods. What a angle, dude. Through... I don't think I've seen a shot like that. Wow, that is such an insane angle there to take up on Auto on the corner. Smoils is pushing in. Does Gattaca hear this? I don't know. Yeah, now he hears the footsteps, and he's actually in a really good place to deny this. Catches out Smoils. Will he be ready for Killinger as well there? He's not. Killinger finding the refrag, a key one, turning it into a 3v3. Now it's going to really come down to Thunder's defensive positioning and the timing on the beginners, 1 minute and 10. And this is definitely going to come to bite them, although maybe not. They are going to push with 1 minute left, but they're going to have to push hard. They don't have a lot of time left to dilly-daddle here. They have to take out Thunder and Toast on OBJ and also deal with Raf, who has rotated over that 5-story. I was wondering where he was. So they have a decent spread here. Decent hold on objective. A good nade comes in. Not quite far enough. If that was up and over, Thunder would have been down. Another nade comes in. Again, doesn't go up and over. And they know that those nades are not where they want them to be. They know they need to get them up and over there. But they really want them to be effective. 25 seconds left. Here comes the push from beginners. Icy Woods knows he has to deal with Raf. Kev coming in here has to deal with Thunder, but Thunder catches out Icy Woods. Toast catches out Kev. Or sorry, Kev catches out Toast. Killinger on the backside exchanging fire with Toast loses, and Globochem take their Volk round and the lead 2-1. This is not a trend that can keep up for beginners if they want to take this second map, because right now it's been a Volk trade in rounds, and beginners are starting on Marsoc, so if that, they will lose the series if we keep going Volk for Volk. And Globochem do have a opportunity to grab the series here. If they can come in and potentially get the OBJ, then we'll be looking at another 4-1 map. For map 2. Close action though, beginners really taking it down to the wire. Very standard beginner strategy. We didn't see it too much in the previous series that I casted with them. I think they were trying to sort of shake out their strategies a little bit. But we definitely see them return to form against the top tier competitor like Globochem. They are playing what's comfortable to them, playing that strategy that they have honed in over so many seasons. And it is also something Globochem are familiar with. I just don't know if that last-minute pushing is really going to cause Globo to scramble, because they've done it so much. They've squared off against beginners so often. This is a very storied rivalry. It's been going on for quite a while, and interested to see how exactly this one is going to shake up. The Button Cup final is underway. We are into map number 2, so don't go anywhere. More Onward action coming up in just a second as both squads find out a strategy. And look at that. On cue. Take a gander at the KDs. Woods, 420 blaze it. 3-3 for Gattaca. Definitely proving his worth as a sub today. He has had some great score lines for this Globochem roster. Dare I say, a key component to their wins. Interesting early pre-fire from Killinger along the west.
Southeast spawn to across these 2-story.
A lot of pre-fire, but the cross has already happened. Smoils in a super dangerous spot on this roof. And holy cow, can you shoot through this now? Oh my gosh. People, it's been 8 seasons, and that's been an impenetrable force of a tower. It does look like shots sort of go through it now. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but Smoils is in a really risky spot. Raph could easily toss a frag, airburst it onto his head. I say easily, but he could as a strategy. It might not be the easiest thing to do, and here it comes. The nade up and over. Smoils rotating just in the nick of time. That was a perfectly tossed nade right to the old position of Smoils. Here come more. Wow. Smoils definitely on the right spot here. Manages to stay alive into this corner of the roof. Kind of see in the distance rotation going on up over on that east side. Toast catches out Smoils, getting a little over aggressive, and 2 locked in on the Raph auto combination, and a good pickup there puts them up 5v4. Super necessary. Toast continues this route. He's got a bit to deal with. Kev will be his #1 concern, and then Killinger. Sure if he is going to make that rotation. We'll keep an angle here and see what the rest of the squad on the other side of the map is deciding to do. Raph, Thunder, and Gattaca. The trade there between Toast and Otto does happen. Or, sorry, Toast and Kev. Does weaken their west defense substantially. Really puts it all onto the shoulders of Killinger.
Oops.
Now after hearing those smokes, Killinger has rotated, taken up defense inside the building. He's going to hold a bit of a tighter angle and wait for the cross to really come in from this side. Great smokes denying vision. That is going to get Thunder across, so now he's in a real advantageous spot. Actually, it seems pretty risky to make this peak now after managing to get across, but he does go for it, and I think maybe he'll prone up this way. Certainly could go undetected if he did take that angle.
Okay.
Gattaca has dropped back. Woods has taken up a westerly defensive position. He's aware of that rotation coming in, and a nice pickup from Icy Woods. Grabs one. The refrag coming in from Otto almost gets picked up himself. Ducks in behind the berm just in time and avoids the fire from both angles Globo keeping it 3v2 now. Auto rotating west while shots ring out from Gattaca.
He's at the corner of the wall.
On the other side, the flank coming in here. Killinger still doesn't hear these footsteps. Is now keyed in. Does turn here. Will Auto be ready for Killinger? He is. Down he goes. And now the push comes in from Gattaca and Thunder onto the opposite side of Woods 43, who's into a 1v3 on objective.
Fucking shield alive over there.
Jeez, and almost in a... I'm not sure what happened. He almost stood there in the center by objective to get shot, but definitely don't want the cat to come through. Do not want Globochem to grab the series, and in a bit of a last-minute defense goes down. So Globo looking good right now. Take the lead, 3-1. I think that was the right rotation from Woods, just to kind of stand up there, hold the ground, make sure nobody caps. There's some interesting prone plays you can make on that sand dune to kind of get yourself into a spot where you can cap right under the nose of some defenses. So I think that's what he was looking for, but did get caught out on all sides, really. And now Beginners on the back foot into a must-win round number 5 of map 2. If they don't grab this one, they lose the series. And all Global have to do, keep a tight defensive setup. I say that like it's an easy thing against Beginners offense. They have been looking very good on Marsoc. This is their map of choice, so it's a map that they understand very well and have some good strats hashed out for. One, two, three, four. I do see 5 on our map, but not on the mini-map, so a bit of a mini-map bug there. I don't think we're picking up auto. So no worries. It is still a 5v5. You can see Raph taking up that west position, looking up over the wall.
And something happens. I will just check the street, the north street, in the middle of north street.
Under there, watching the cross. Meanwhile, the Beginners defense, Beginners offense has made their way up towards the north rooftop. They've sent Smoils, without me even looking, over to that far south. Definitely the designated LMG flanker of the Beginners team. And it's going to be a bit until he's in position for them to really attack. That is information for Globochem to react off of, hearing 2 guns now fire in the north. Certainly should give away some sort of info. You see that they're now trained in here on this west side. Kev here, sitting at APC, looking in towards burning rubble. And you can see these guys are all very aware of the timing. Kev just checked his clock. He knows he's got 3 minutes now left to work with. He knows where his team should be accordingly, and probably knows right where Smoils is now at the ambulance. Wonder if Otto can cross. I don't think he did. A nice nade from Icy Woods catches out Toast. See if he follows it up with the refrag. Smoke's coming in here to deny vision from Otto. Smoils confirming that pickup onto Toast. Now it's a 5v4. Great smokes out of the beginner's side. Perfectly angled. It's going to allow Icy Woods and Killinger to cross free and easy. Kev, Smoils also making their way up here, and once they take this burning rubble, it's going to be tough for Globo to hold on. They're also getting pushed in from the west. A nice nade comes up and over, right onto Thunder, who can't rotate out in time. Fantastic long-range nade from Killinger gets them into a great spot now. Suppressive fire coming in from Smoils. The flank onto the backside catches out Wrath. Beginners maybe thinking capportunity here as they have the 5v2 advantage. Gattaca and Otto feeling the pressure. Gattaca's not tucked down low enough. Somehow it doesn't rotate around onto those shots that were shot towards Thunder to confirm him. Woods 43 should have a free and easy pickup here, as a nade does come out towards a decent toss there over towards one. Woods 43 catches the backside of Gattaca, and now Otto all alone on OBJ. He's going to force Beginners to very likely kill him before they can get this cap. That is 2, but he stands up just a bit too much. Kev finds the head of Otto, and Beginners grab themselves a Marsoc round. A much needed one at that, and put things up 2-3. Globochem now tasked with answering back and grabbing a Marsoc round of their own if they want the series. All Beginners have to do is keep a nice, tight defense They can take this down to a final round, excuse me. Round number 7. Be a heck of a comeback considering Globo were up 3-1. Yeah, it looks like, again, just a UI bug on the map. All 5 alive on the Globo side.
Shadow, shadow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like a bit of a shadow.
This is interesting. I wonder if he's calling out that he just saw a shadow and he was shooting at that, or if it was, or if he crossed utilizing the shadow. Not really sure on that comm. I don't know if they're aware that he did get across there, and that is the advantage of taking that deep angle there. You often go unnoticed. Gattaca does cross with smoke in hand here as well, so now they are really aware of at least one here in the south. About to head up over there to the north, but Woods has identified them before we could. Shots going out up onto that north side. Also, just a little suppressive jazz over onto the south. He's aware of where that smoke was on the overturned Hummer, but I'm not sure he's aware that Gattaca managed to get over to the wall. Auto here on the north has taken a bit of fire, so definitely a bit more conservative about peeking up over that hilltop, as he should be.
Copy. Do we have our guys at Tank Warrior in position? Raps, do you want to push from center?
Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, Thunder Pilot sitting by ambulance. Patiently waiting for his team to get in position. We're seeing a very beginners-esque play here come out from Globochem. Patiently waiting. Some shots there from Thunder, misfiring as he goes to grab his smokes. I think he wanted that other one to probably angle the other way. All these smokes, honestly, not getting the angle that they need. Gattaca catches out Woods.
Might have gotten one down.
Does have the potential to grab another if he's fortunate enough. The quick run over rotation there from Thunder does get past one. Auto catches out Icy Woods. Beginners now suddenly into a 3v5. As a nice nade comes up and over onto Toast. Down he goes. A revive comes in, turning it into a 4v5, as the Thunder should pick up Toast here as well. Another nade comes up and over, just missing the backside of Icy Woods. As Raph begins his flank and push just a bit too hard. Smoils grabs him up. Now into a 4v4. Can Globochem rally here, refocus, or will beginners manage to stay tight and defend? The push comes in now with a minute left on the clock. They have to move a bit quicker here. Globochem don't have a lot of time left. Icy Woods, shots getting taken there towards the center, don't quite land. Toast pushes up and gets aggressive, grabs him. Now it's going to be the push onto the burning rubble. Huge pickup there, opens up quite a bit of different angles for them to make their way through here. Killinger still has eyes on. Nice angle onto the stairs, grabs Thunder. Auto catches out Smoils, a huge pickup opens that up. Toast getting rubble, and now Globo looking at a great potential series grab here if Kev goes down to the flank of Gattaca, and he does. Globochem grab map number 2 and secure themselves the series against the #1 team and retake their #1 rank worldwide. What a huge dub for Globochem here. Obviously playing out that map 3, but it is confirmed. The series decided. Globochem, the Button Cup champions. Map number 3, Globochem's map pick. As a reminder, Downfall and Tanker both banned. Cargo already played, Quarantine already played, maybe a Bazaar or a Suburbia as predicted by our lovely Pwnecake in chat. Ooh. And I think Subway was tossed around as something fun to see between these two teams, and I think it is going to be something we get for that third and final map. Ask and you shall receive, as they always say. So far, though, a tough loss for beginners. Total scoreline 8-3 in favor of Globochem. Not a scoreline you'd honestly expect to see put up against a team like beginners. But either way, Globo looking very good right now. Coast back on the roster, a key element, but Gattaca really doing fantastic as a sub. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him enter onto that Globo roster at some point in the future. Either way, a great reservist. He'll definitely see some... I mean, it's funny. It's almost like free agency promotion right here. Gattaca is a reservist. He plays in that reservist pool. Getting great, great advertising right now to pick him and bring him into your team if you need a reservist. I think we have nearly everybody ready. No roster swaps coming in for this final map. Everybody's staying in it. Toast, Thunder, Raph, Gattaca, and Otto making up the Globochem roster, and Kev, Killinger, Smoils, Woods, and Icy Woods making up the beginners. So again, nothing really changing. All that is changing is the fact that we're going to be going to Subway, which I don't think I've seen since the start of this season, where it was featured quite a few times. Since then, I haven't really caught a Subway map in a little bit. And wait no longer, we got one right here. Globo versus Beginners. Beginners kicking it off on the defense as this is Globochem's map pick. Curious to see how Beginners opts to defend. I'm curious on a lot of things on this map right now. Killinger running into a few early on that bottom story. Opts to rotate back up north. The shots from Gattaca grab Woods, although it did cost them one as well, so we're into a 4v4. C4 detonate on the back of Gattaco, just a bit too far away. Doesn't catch him out, and Smoils drops back off that rotation. Kev kills Kev with a poorly tossed nade. That's going to open up the stairwell for all three to come up here. They're definitely going to need to shift and refocus their attention onto this entryway. You can see Icy Woods rotating. Killinger also trying to get an angle. A nice flash comes out, completely blinding Icy Woods. Trap trying to flick shot with the shield. We haven't seen that in quite a while. Nades from both sides, ineffective, as both are aware that those were going to be coming in.
There's one on the left side. There's one far back. Oh, it's not. Be careful. You might let down something. You can see him.
So curious what these guys are doing using this night vision right now. I mean, we're watching. I can barely see anything. We'll see if when they ID an enemy, how easy it is for them to spot. Because that has to be the reasoning. Oh, look at that. Raph's going to try and take the shots up and over. He goes down, exposing himself, and there, Thunder does pick up the kill. It's pretty easy to ID the Volk, I suppose, with that night vision. Almost like they stand out in that color gradient. So an interesting bit of strategy that's been shown off here from Globochem that I don't think I've seen in the past. Killinger advancing forward. Shots do come in. And a bit of team fire as Toast tries to tag Killinger, and Thunder so caught out in a rotation in an awkward position goes down to a teammate. Killinger finally picked up, and we're into a 2v1. Smoils all alone defending. Where is the last attacker? Gattaca definitely lagging behind here on Subway. He's still in that basement side. Toast somehow doesn't shoot Smoils. I don't know what just happened right there. Smoils grabs the pickup. Now Gattaca may be the saving grace if he can slowly and patiently come up these stairs. Smoils grabs the shield, though, and that's going to make him a whole lot harder to kill as he tucks into the corner. Look at this. Uh-oh. Smoils going in for the knife. The nade comes out. Gattaca tries the pistol in defense from the shield, but can't defend long enough. And in a true hand-to-hand combat battle, Beginners take the lead 1-0. Flip it and ship it. That was the right play, though. Smart move from Smoils. Goes with the knife. The interesting nade toss almost pays off. It wasn't quite cooked long enough. He was tagged once with the pistol. The shield block worked for a little bit, but ultimately the win goes into the hands of Beginners. We're not going to waste any time between rounds either. Both squads eager to get back into the action and continue this final map. But Beginners definitely trying to even out the score just a touch as they go up 1-0 on map 3, and we dive into round number 2. Looks like they're going to upstairs in the new catway. Toast Oh, he's getting ready for a push. He's going to wait to hear these footsteps from Kev Killinger flash the stairs. Oh, no, flashes it a bit too early. Van Killinger should be relatively unblinded. But now he's taking control of the stairs. A good counter frag could catch him out, but he's going to go prone here in this corner. A controversial strat, dare I say it. Heated exchange of fire. Woods applying the pressure here onto nobody. Very nicely done. Secures himself this upstairs advantage. Raph managing to grab out Kev. A bit of an exchange of fire here. Raph trying to push the shield. Does get 1, 2. Hits off onto Killinger and he goes down. Beginners now into a 3v4 and the shield into the hands of a defensive member. Should make it a bit tougher for this push to go through. Smoils trying to put out some rounds onto OBJ while his other teammate begins pushing down the opposite side of the stairs. Otto holding objective. Raph and Toast on it. Gattaca also with an angle. Gonna be a tough egg to crack, especially Raph with a shield in hand. They've started cracking it. Otto goes down to Icy Woods. They can get that south flank timed nicely. Woods 43 may be able to find himself with a pick as well. Woods is actually the one that grabs him anyway, and down goes Raph. Now it's all up to the 2 on OBJ. Gattaca and Toast, I believe, is also taking some fire now from Smoils on the stairs. Down goes Gattaca. Now it is all up to the final defender. Toast trying to hold on to this objective. He has to grab Smoils on the stairs. Can't land those shots. Smoils going to drop back, get a heal off, and maybe continue to re-peek. But either way, Toast has got to be worried about all the angles here. He's got to make sure he's not going to get flanked on the right side, which is happening right now. Ooh, and tries to peek Woods, but can't find the angle he's looking for. Beginners go up 2-0 on Subway. Maybe the Subway pick not looking too hot in the eyes of Globochem now. Scoreline continues to be evened out. As was mentioned in chat, if Beginners can somehow manage to get a 5-point map win and deny Globo any points, we could have an overall even score line, which is definitely not what Globo wants after taking the series against the #1 team. You want to maximize the MMR gain that you can get. Round number 3 underway. Little nade exchange going on here. Everybody buffing up on their utility, as a lot is very likely to be utilized early on here. Once they get up these stairs, you should see some nades and other utility getting tossed down this hot lane. One early flash just to prevent a hard push that isn't coming. And the nades to again prevent that push. Will Killinger decide to peek? I don't know. But either way, that's nearly all the utility that they're going to have on this corner. Maybe some C4 plays strategically also, but Killinger does peek, does want to get a long-range nade that doesn't pay off. Down he goes, but will Raph be able to follow up on that? I'm not sure. C4 gets tossed out, and Smoils actually confirms Killinger with that C4. Threw it a bit too close to home. You can see that does open up this corner. Smoils drops back to defend, and Raph and Thunder should have free reign to advance up to these stairs. Ooh, Icy Woods grabs one inside. He's gonna have to square off against another that's also there, though. Gattaca in position. Gonna have to split our attention here as Gattaca makes his way out. We're also gonna see the push up top.
I can hear him. Okay, house is clear here, up here. Yeah, we have time. Remember this.
And this is the next advance for Raph and Thunder. I wouldn't be surprised to see some nades get tossed out towards Smoils' position. Meanwhile, Gattaca also setting up to be in a pretty dangerous spot. I wonder who really has eyes on him other than Icy Woods. I suppose Woods 43 could also make a peek. And the split push is underway. Shots ringing in from the opposite side there, just over the head of Gattaca. Otto putting out that suppressive fire, and Thunder and Raph slowly creeping in. I'm surprised Kev isn't peeking an angle. Maybe he's got a C4 detonator in hand. Gattaca looks for Woods, can't find him. The head gets picked off. Otto's going to be making his advance in the center, though. Meanwhile, Thunder and Raph getting ever closer to pushing this objective. Globochem definitely want to get on the board here. I doubt Otto's going to be ready for Woods 43 holding that alternate angle there. Thunder does catch out one. Kev on the peak grabs another, and now it's all up to Otto who gets one. Will he be ready for Woods 43 on the opposite side? He's not. Shots do get missed, though, and he's a bit more aware. Is trained in over here. I see Woods Resable, and you can see Woods 43 dialed into that dead body and the comms that are coming out from it. Does catch Otto, trying to rotate around. And beginners 3-0 on map number 3. Now they go into a cap opportunity, and I would be incredibly surprised if we didn't see them go for the cap here to try and grab this 5-0 map. If you have just stopped in, you've missed most of the action. The series already secured by Globochem, 4-1 on Cargo and 4-2 on Quarantine. And now beginners trying to balance the overall scoreline and grab this subway map that was picked by Globo. Globo has of yet to get on the board. Coast 0-3, Gattaca 1-3, everyone actually with a negative KD on Globochem's side, so just not finding the kills they need, and we'll see if that trend continues as we hop into the round number 4. was gonna say the next round. Round 4. A bit of a false start, as beginners do have to reset. We're missing one on the load, so much apologies. We can take a look at the KDs, though. I wasn't lying about them, you know. This time it is not a false start. Everybody has loaded in.
Kev, 5 seconds. Go. Watch out for C4 on the stairs.
Wow. This is what beginners were defending against. This is why we saw so many nades get thrown up and over here. They wanted to deny this early push, and now Thunder's in an awkward spot here with Raph, both into this corner. One good nade's going to catch him out, and here it comes. A bit too far. They are safe. 2 nades come up and out from them. A nice C4. Oh, no. What happened there? Yikes. Globochem somehow detonating themselves on the corner with the C4. A double team kill comes in. Otto, the only one to defend, and a hailstorm of bullets rain down on this corner, and he's able to drop back in time where he can defend a little bit of a tighter angle. I see that raid coming in. Thank you, Master League 2. Much appreciated. Hope that matchup was good. This one definitely going into the hands of Globochem, but right now, map 3 favoring beginners as they manage to get themselves into a 5v3 position, looking to secure what I imagine to be is the cap, because if they can grab this cap, they'll even out the overall scoreline 8-8. Now they have no more defense on objective. Where are Toast and Gattaca? And are they going to risk their lives to get to this corner? He has to. He has to check. He gets tagged once for doing it. I think he goes down, looks for a syringe, doesn't have one, so now he's slowed. Does have a syringe. He's healed now. So much pre-fire, but no movement. Killinger not pushing forward for this cap. I don't know why. But I'm pretty sure they have the free cap right here. They can. Gattaca can easily punch in code on the corner. Killinger can. All he has to do is crawl up there. I'm not sure what beginners are thinking here. Maybe they're just looking for the kills. Oh, an angle there is found onto the side of Gattaca, and he's so incredibly lucky how he got downed. Somehow not exposing himself. Gattaca is going to get scooped up, instantly picked off as soon as he gets grabbed. He should have been ready to try and duck around cover, but isn't. And now Killinger is going to make his way forward into the 1v4. A nice nade from Toast does get behind him, and that's a huge pickup. Now the defense may be able to lie onto the shoulders of Toast. Another nade onto the corner just to ensure no caps coming in. A nice flash, actually, matter of fact. I'm not sure what his plan of action is now. 2:30 on the clock for beginners, and they're into a 3v1. Toast can find one. Can't get the shots onto the backside, though. And Kev with the securing kill. He gets beginners a map at the very least, and in a dominating fashion, 4-0 against Globochem. The overall scoreline still in favor of Globo, but just by a hair. 8-7 in total. Whew, what a series. Fun one to watch, that was for sure. Good action across the board. Good attempts from both teams to try and win that series. Beginners definitely making it hard on Globochem. But ultimately, this Globochem squad able to scoop up these wins, even down one on their roster. The reservist Gattaca coming in yesterday, the day before that against G-Men, and today, definitely proving his worth with that roster, with that team. Toast also returning, I think, helped Globo look a little bit stronger against Beginners today. And that is a huge pick. That is the must-win. They needed this series. They're now back in the #1 spot. No idea where Beginners are going to be globally after this. They could be dropping down to 4th, potentially. So there's a lot of opportunity for some other teams like SMC, G-Men, even the Vikings to grab a #1 spot. It's really getting tossed around, and it's a fun time to watch these Master Tier series because it's so close. Nobody has a huge MMR advantage over one another, so fun series to watch. If you do want to get involved in more of the action, head on over to vrmasterleague.com/onward. It's there that you can see all of the matches that will be cast in the week. You can see us all planning and scheduling the matches, you know, when we'll be going live by looking at that match feed. Also recommend following the Twitter. It'll tell you exactly when games are going to be cast and by who. Tweets go out, you know, a couple times a day just as a reminder. So it's a great way to stay up to date on the VRML updates and whatnot. I also recommend you go and check out the other games we have for the VR Master League. Final Assault Season 2 has begun. There's a $2,000 prize pool overall for that season, so I highly recommend, if you're interested in competing in VR esports, that you go check out that league. We also have Space Junkies, Contractors, and Pavlov, so your game of choice. You can play competitively. With that, I will be signing off. A quick shout out to our sponsors, VR Cover and ProTube VR. Thank you for sponsoring the VR Master League. It is always appreciated. And that will be it for me. I'm your host, NightFiree with 2 E's. I will see you guys probably not next week, since we will be doing a lot of conventions. A lot of VRML folk will be at Oculus Connect 6. It'll be a lot of fun to meet a bunch of people there. And if you are going to be going to OC6, make sure to get involved in we're doing a bunch of meet and greets and stuff. There's a couple of different meetings that'll be happening with the communities. So again, Discord is the way to go to get involved in the community, and I appreciate everyone that has tuned in today. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I will see you all later. Good night, everybody.